Well, I thought I would just give you guys a sneak peek into the finishing of the clear coat, and in my case, occasionally wrecking it and redoing it. So here I've been. I had to take a couple of cracks at the rear hatch. Just all the curves make the wet sanding problematic. I'm trying to get this thing absolutely dead nuts smooth. And I don't know if you can see the reflection here, but you know, this is, you know, once you've sanded down and you got rid of the orange peel, then you get this perfect mirror finish. So it's a three-step process. So if I go over here, I've been working on the car here most recently, and haven't sanded here really at all. Let me just turn the lights around so get a little bit of incident light over here. Let's see if I can focus the camera here. So the orange peel, I've started to remove it here. You can sort of probably see a little bit of a pattern developing, and then you get to an area where I've sanded aggressively. There's no orange peel at all here, so, and you can feel it, like this is butter smooth. And then if you transition to an area where it hasn't been sanded, it's actually sticky. You know, it's not rough or anything, but it's just, it grabs your finger, right? So I use a squeegee. I start, you know, with, I've got a little rubber block here, and I wrap 1500 grit first and then 2000, and you know, I just take this sucker, and when it's drained a little bit, just place it on, and I just start to work it. I will also grab my DA sander. If it's a big flat area, then I can, you know, use this, which is great. It's currently got 3000 grit on it. So I start at 1500, I go to 2000, go to 3000, and then I move to this orbital polisher, this Makita unit, big heavy duty unit, but it's got a nice variable speed. Can I focus on that? Probably not. Anyway, it's got a variable speed indicator there, so it takes you up to 3000 RPM, which I don't get to. I go between about 1000 and 2000 RPM. I start with the yellow compounding pad and the yellow compound and the compounding PerfectIt, and then I move to the machine polish and the finer gray pad, and increase the speed a little bit. So work my way up through the process, and it generally works really well. Sometimes I rush it a little bit and I get, you know, a little too excited about getting to the final step, and I either haven't gotten rid of all the orange peel, you know, something appears that's not quite right, and I have to go back again. So, you know, sometimes the surface is a little cloudy. If I've rushed between 1500 and 3000 grit, and I really haven't spent a lot of time on the 3000 grit, you can actually see it, because instead of you getting this really deep mirror finish, it starts to get this sort of cloudy, hazy look to it. So you're polishing it out and it still doesn't really punch up. So I go back, you know, and so now it's a little bit like a test. What I'll do is I'll think I got it, and then I'll hit it with some rubbing compound, and I'll see if the surface is clear, and it instantly shows me where I've still got work to do, and then I don't get too excited about that. I just go back and I keep working again. So, you know, I've got a little squeegee, and it's nice. So if I've got something that's wet here, and I just grab the little plastic squeegee, this is just or a little rubber squeegee, little 3M unit, and what's nice about the squeegee is that it instantly dries the surface, and then you can look into it, and you can say, you know what, I've got a little bit of orange peel left to go there. So rather than drying it all off, I've also got a heat gun over there that I will sometimes use it to just quickly dry the whole panel and have a look. So you sort of incrementally go at it, see how it looks, and hit it with the rubbing compound, and if it starts to look really good, then finish it off and go to the polishing, machine polish step. So you just sort of work slowly around the car. A few times I've actually found little pockets, like little, it's probably where a little bit of moisture maybe from the air line in the spray gun, maybe a little bit of moisture or something was under the paint that caused the paint to thin. Like it gets a little cavity or a little crater. And what I've had to do a few times is mix up a little bit of clear coat and then just, you know, dab a tiny little droplet of it on to the center, let it dry, and then I'll use the 3M denibbing tool, which is just a tiny little sander, and I'll polish it down, sand it down, and then I'll continue on. So if I find little spots where it's cratered, I'll just have to go in there, refill it with a bit more clear, let the clear dry for at least 4 or 5 hours, and then I can start wet sanding it down again. And that worked well. I ended up having a few of those spots along the back, and I went and filled them, and you can't even tell now. So it's perfect. And so you just go around the car and you find a mistake, you can fix it. So anyway, this is good. This is progress. I've finished the I guess the wet sanding and the polishing for all the panels, and as I say, I've got to go around the car now and find craters. There's a few of them. I don't know if I can show it in the camera to you. Maybe I can. Let me just go into macro mode. See if I can zoom in. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, bottom line is there's a few spots where there's little divots, and I'm going to fill them with clear with a tiny little detail paintbrush, and then polish those out. So everything's gone well. Super shiny, super flat paint surface. It's a really nice result. I'm happy with it. Cars come to the final stage, and I can start assembling it. So it's ready to roll now. And as I said, just a few little touch-ups here and there, and then I'm into stuffing the engine and all the other bits into it. So pretty happy.